This is the Polaris P70 robotic pool cleaner. The body's low and purposeful with a clear top lid that lets me see the filter canister at a glance. It has that rectangular, slightly rounded pod shape that sits flat, and the proportions make sense for small to medium above-ground pools. The footprint is about 15 by 10 by 12 inches, so it's easy to store. The clear lid is the first thing that catches my eye because it actually matters in day-to-day use. I can tell when it's full without interrupting a cycle, which cuts down on guessing and wasted trips.
From my experience, setup was as close to plug and play as this category gets. It runs on AC power through its control box, there's no assembly, and I had it in the water within minutes. The control is simple touch operation with a single cleaning mode, so I'm not scrolling through menus or downloading an app. If you've only ever used manual vacuums or older pressure side units with booster pumps, this feels refreshingly straightforward. Drop it in, press the button, walk away.
Key features that stand out in daily use start with that easy clean filter canister under the transparent lid. It's rated around 3 liters, and the design means I don't have to touch the debris. I pop the latch, lift the canister out, shake it, and hose it clean. In my opinion, this is the most user-friendly debris system I've used on an above-ground cleaner. The canister does fill up faster after storms or during heavy pollen, but because cleaning it is so quick, I don't mind emptying it more often. I'd rather do a fast rinse than wrestle with a soggy filter bag. The cleaning cycle is a fixed 2 hours. It targets the floor and the cove area, where the floor curves up toward the wall. That matches the product's intent. Keep the bottom of above-ground pools clear of leaves, grit, and silt. The suction feels strong from start to finish, which lines up with Polaris's cyclonic vacuum design. In practice, that means debris swirls in the canister instead of plastering itself to the filter, and suction doesn't fade halfway through. I noticed fine dust and microscopic stuff get captured, not just the obvious leaves and bugs. The water looks clear even when the pool didn't seem that dirty to the eye.
Navigation reflects the P70's simple mission. There's no smart mapping, and it doesn't learn my pool. The pattern looks semi-random, and on certain days it will leave a small untouched patch that I catch on the second run. It also shows its limits with obstacles. Ladders and drain domes can trip it up. I've tugged the floating cable a couple of times to free it when it nestled against the ladder. The 40-foot cable gives me reach for an above-ground pool up to about 33 feet, but it doesn't have a swivel, so I make a habit of laying the cable flat in the sun for a minute to relax the memory and reduce tangles. Not glamorous, but it helps.
Weight is an honest trade-off here. The listing shows 22 pounds for the unit, and once you add water clinging to it, it feels heavier coming out than you might expect for something marketed as lightweight. There's no easy lift water purge system, so the removal is all on me. I use 2 hands on the handle and let the water drain for a beat at the surface before I lift. If you have shoulder issues or prefer a super light pullout, keep this in mind. The body itself is solid and compact, so the weight is manageable, but it's not feather light. On surfaces, I used it on a smooth vinyl liner above-ground pool and had no scuffing or weird marks, and traction was fine. That said, I've seen mixed user reports about vinyl performance in general. From my experience, it's been good on a modern, smooth liner, but liners vary in thickness and texture. If your liner is older, highly embossed, or you're just cautious, I'd test shorter runs and inspect the contact points after the first cleaning. It's a small step that buys peace of mind. Noise is a non-issue. Underwater, the motor hums quietly, and above water, I mostly hear a distant murmur. Power used feels modest for a 2-hour session, which lines up with the efficiency claim. I appreciate that it's set and forget for 2 hours, and if the pool is messy after a storm, I just run a second cycle the same day.
Durability and care are straightforward. I rinse the canister after every use, clear hair or pine needles from the intake if needed, and coil the cable loosely. I don't leave it in the pool between cleanings, and I keep it out of direct sun when stored. The limited warranty is typical for this category, and parts like the canister and brushes are accessible if I ever need replacements. In my opinion, maintenance is the least stressful part of owning this cleaner, and that matters more over a season than a flashy. It's perfect for above-ground owners who want a simple, dependable floor clean without fussing with apps, schedules, or custom modes.
If your pool is small to medium, under 33 feet, with a flat bottom and minimal obstacles, this fits the brief. If your setup has lots of ladders, benches, or a steep cove, expect to supervise the first couple of runs to see where it tends to snag. I've learned to angle my ladder slightly to give the P70 a cleaner pass, and that reduced hangups.
From my experience, the biggest day-to-day benefit is the time I get back. Manual vacuuming a pool this size used to eat an hour and a half when I included setup and cleanup. With the P70, I drop it in, come back to a clean floor, empty the canister in a minute, and I'm done. Is it perfect? No. The lack of a swivel, the weight when wet, and the basic navigation are real limitations. But when I balance those against the strong suction, the easy canister, the fast setup, and the predictable 2-hour cycle, it earns its keep. I'd recommend this for anyone who values reliability and ease over bells and whistles, who can comfortably lift a roughly 22-pound unit out of the water, and who keeps the pool layout simple. If you want app control, a programmable schedule, or wall and waterline capabilities, you want to look at a different tier. If your pool collects heavy leaves every day, you might plan on emptying the canister mid-cycle, which is easy but worth noting.
In conclusion, the Polaris P70 feels like a purpose-built tool that delivers where it matters most for above-ground owners, a clean floor and cove with minimal hassle. The clear lid canister design is genuinely helpful, the suction stays strong through the full cycle, and the plug-and-go operation suits busy days. The compromises are clear too, but they're manageable if you understand the intended use. In my opinion, it's a solid buy for everyday maintenance on simple above-ground pools, and it's helped me keep the water looking better with a lot less effort. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe, drop your questions or your own experience with the P70 in the comments, and I'll do my best to reply. Thank you for watching.